Hi there, I'm Neat.
And I'm Rox.
And this is The Bourbon Barrel. And tonight we got something a little different, kind of special for you.
Absolutely.
We're going to pit Celebra drinks.
Celebra drinks.
I don't know, how would you...
Celebra skis. Because I was going with whiskeys. Yeah. Celebra.
Yeah. Okay, this has gone off the rails already.
Yeah.
So today we have Blackened.
Right.
And we have Wolf Moon.
Yes.
And one bourbon to be determined later.
Which is a new thing we thought of.
Yeah.
Where we're going to flip a coin. He has one bottle he's chosen. I have a bottle I've chosen. Whoever wins the flip is going to go into this with these two. For what it's worth, Wolf Moon is made by Jason, blended by Jason Aldeen and Florida Georgia Line, or to be more precise, because I think there's more band members, Brian Kelly and Tyler Hubbard of Florida Georgia Line. And that one's Metallica.
Blackened by Metallica.
And there is a bit of a backstory to that, which I'm sure we'll get into during the course of this episode.
So, do you want to actually tell them the playlist, all that stuff about this while I start opening it? Because we didn't do that.
Absolutely. What they do or started doing and still do. Yeah, they do. Yeah. So you didn't just cut the stupidity there for a second that I am. When they started doing this a few years ago. I think they have a distillery now, from what I heard, and it was going to be opening soon or whatever. But they were sourcing and blending whiskeys, and they were using. There's a musical, it's like called synchronicity or something, and that's the wrong word, but there's a word in there, where they place not bass drums, but bass
like
speakers, yeah, next to barrels in their rickhouse and warehouse, and they blast Metallica. Roughly 24 hours a day, the whole time, just to get that vibration. And they do it in such like low tone, right? I think it is. And so anyway, they're all supposed to be different. All the batches, which they started with batch 81 because 1981 was the year Metallica became a band. So that's the first batch. This is batch 107, I believe. And you can look up online any batch you find has what playlist the band members of Metallica chose to blast at these batches. This one includes Metal Militia, My Friend of Misery, Leper Messiah, Fixer Metallica, Mama Said Metallica, Jump in the Fire, Damage Incorporated, and Enter Sandman, which is the one I knew.
That's
the famous one.
That's the one, Marv. That's the silver tuna.
That's right. Knock, knock, knocking on Kevin's door.
Nice.
Yeah, that was hilarious when I saw that. Like, that always blows my mind when you see something you've been watching for like 20 years, 30 years, like, and then you're like, how did they come up with that? And you know what I mean? It almost makes you feel stupid because it's like, that's hilarious. From Home Alone, by the way. If you don't know that, then you're not my friend.
You could be though.
Yeah. Well,
now that you have the joke,
you need to watch it. You can't just be my friend. You gotta anyway.
So
we're gonna flip a coin.
Well, later, yes, we're gonna flip a coin for the undetermined bourbon. Right?
Should we do that now?
Do you want to flip to see who goes first? No, we'll do it after.
After we taste these?
After we taste these, we'll go for the flipping of the coin, right?
Okay.
Unless you want to flip the coin to see which one of these goes first.
We can do that too.
All right. So heads will be Blackened, tails will be Wolf Moon.
Fair enough. And Blackened.
That's heads. We're going Blackened.
Hey, listen, head usually comes before tail, if you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, if that was too inappropriate for you, you probably want to go find this
go ahead and
sillier channel. So, I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna cleanse. Or you can pour if you want. It's fine. It doesn't matter. Cleansing the palate.
Is this a bourbon or a whiskey?
This is a whiskey because it has not been aged 4 years of new charred oak barrels, and it is finished in black brandy casks.
So is it a gimmick?
That's what we're gonna find out
learn today.
And I've heard mixed reviews, like, and I have no troubles shouting out to the people that I tend to watch, from It's Bourbon Night to Bourbon Real Talk, Whiskey Dictionary, and Whiskey Vault and stuff. I've seen shows where they're like, like when It's Bourbon Night did their top 12 or top 10 like whiskeys by celebrities. Blackened was in there, but it was not the top of the list. The ones that were at the top of the list were called 3 Chord.
Oh yeah, they had a bunch of those in there.
Pat Benatar's husband's whiskeys. I think he's a musician too. I apologize, but I think he's not the name musician. He's just like a bass player, a guitar player. But man, those ones really, like stood out.
I haven't even seen those around.
No, me neither. So, as a matter of fact, aside from these two and Heaven's Door, I don't know if there's one around here that's readily available that's especially musically.
I don't know. Yeah.
Oriented. So this is 90 proof. We told you what songs they're blasting at this one.
Mm-hmm.
As I told you, my prom song, I believe, was a Metallica song. I don't think it was Sad But True. I think it was maybe Enter Sandman. I don't know. I've lost that. But
so let's check it out. What do you say?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so
it's easy on the nose. Not a lot of.
It's a. I don't know. The nose isn't as good as some of the other ones that we've done, but it's not a bad nose.
No, it's not like armpit nose. But it's also not like you sprayed too much cologne on and now you're kind of that douchey guy with the gold necklace.
That's the perfect analogy here.
It's a decent nose. It's not making my nose burn. I do believe I'm going to grab it just for giggles. Bottled by Sweet Amber Distilling Company, Mineville, New York. Bottled in New York. That I did not know.
I did not know.
A bold collaboration of the finest hand-selected whiskeys and unrivaled composition of craft and creativity born in cask, forged by sound. That's clever. That's well written. Doesn't say the way. If I recall correctly, the way I heard it was that it's probably a lot of MGP product, and they do what they do with it with the black sherry casks or whatever I said, and the sound and there other people have done more. The Whiskey Dictionary did a hell of an episode about this, and it's short, explaining all this stuff to you about that. But if you ever get your hands on it, if you ever see a batch 81, no matter what the price is, you should buy it because that's their first batch. There's probably not many out there anymore, and it's probably on the secondary market if you're a collector, if you're whatever, grab one. So anyway. I'm not a big metal fan. I'm more country, so I'm rooting for this one. I could name some songs by these guys, but anyway. Cheers. This is going to come out before the Christmas holiday and the holiday time, so we hope you're having a very happy holiday season. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving and everything that's coming forward for you.
So,
do you get any of the black brandy sherry thing?
Yes.
There's
a sweetness to it that is that. It's also a little distinct that it's not a bourbon because it's rougher than a lot of bourbons because I don't think it's aged as long.
The body. It doesn't have that.
There's more of a burn to it than a normal bourbon.
It kind of burned and slid down real fast. Yeah. It didn't hold. And I feel like for me, the way I think I'm easily worse at this than you are. Yeah, so there. I don't
feel called out.
I said I was worse than you at it. Like,
I still feel called out.
Well, I called him out. He's awesome. I'm such a douche. All right. Anyway. Yeah, because the initial taste is, I do get darker flavors.
There's a lot of burn in it though. Like comparatively speaking to a 90 proof bourbon that's been aged appropriately or longer.
Right.
Like in the last episode with the Wild Turkey barrel stuff that was like 101 proof.
Yeah.
I feel like this burns more than that.
I do too. But I stand by what I said to a degree too. It's not like this deep heavy burn. It's kind of a quick kind of slide down burn. I'm not holding
getting it here, but I'm getting it in my mouth.
Don't you hate when you get it in your mouth?
Awful.
Oh God. My brother-in-law does that a lot. I'm like, do you like this? And he's like, nah, it gets in my mouth. And it's always about food, and it's just, he catches me with it every time, and it still makes me laugh. But now, okay, so full transparency, the Blackened is a little over $40 where we live in small town New York. Small town USA.
He's a small town girl.
The Wolf Moon, oh God. I remember thinking it wasn't terribly expensive, but it wasn't terribly cheap either. I want to say it was somewhere in the 30 range.
So similar price.
Similar, yeah. And this one's going to be 80 when we try it, and this one's 90. So Which, ironically, to some degree, I know they started in 81, but for me, Metallica didn't really kick until that Black album came out. I was never really a huge fan of Ride the Lightning and all that stuff.
Fair enough.
And you're not an actual metal guy either, right? Because we've discussed that. I'm more of a country guy. I've loved Florida Georgia Line. I like Jason Aldeen. Doesn't mean I think this is going to be better or worse. I could give a flying rat's butt, but
it's not bad. There's a sweetness to it.
Yes, there
is.
And
honestly,
and it's a dark sweetness,
right?
Which might make sure that
for the price and the gimmicks of it, it works. Like, it's not going to be my go-to. It's not going to be something that I want to pull.
No.
But if there aren't a lot of other options, I can see myself drinking it.
I can, and
it could mix well with a lot of like sweeter things, like a soda or something. Like
when they batch too, that means that the batches will all be different. It could all be like if they get it from MGP, it could be these barrels, then these barrels, then these barrels, and they could say the same thing. But if it was depending on temperature,
it's very similar to that how we discussed the Isaac Bowman in the port cask.
Right.
The first bottle that I got, I absolutely loved it.
Yeah,
and then we just tried it again, and that was bad. It was not good.
We were not fans at all.
It's small batch, so what do you do?
Which and this is I almost did this week just to get him yelling what bullshit. But last year when I started doing this and you and I were just chatting and having fun and because we've been friends for many years, but we didn't start the show only a few months back.
Back in 2009.
One of the favorite things I had tried was Dewar's, which is a Scotch. And it was Dewar's port finished. They call it, there's some name for it they use, but it's port barrel finished. And I loved it. And it's $25 at our local place. They still have it. I almost bought it this week just to say, man, try this one. Because we tried those other ones, Angel's Envy and the Isaac Bowman one, and neither one of us liked either one. And that one I liked so much. Now it is blended down to 80 proof.
Sure.
And we would have to look into, because I don't remember by heart, the Port and the Angel's Envy I think are a little higher than that. But man, I liked it so much that when I was starting this journey and I was leaving myself notes in my phone and I was grading on a scale of 1 to 100, I had it at like a 94. Like I just loved it. And I tried the other ones because Dewar's has these like Japanese cask finish, port cask finish, Caribbean cask finish. I tried all of them because they're only like $25, very relatable, lower proof, which I was getting into. I'm still getting into it. We're not proof hounds. I loved it. I almost bought it just because I love it, and wasn't even if I did, you didn't even want to try it. I was going to be like, okay, I'll drink it because I like it.
Mine.
So I don't know if they just did a better job, or if maybe with ports, the finishes, maybe they need to blend it down or dilute it a little bit more. Maybe
just to get a little of that port. Yeah, maybe.
So
let the port come through over the alcohol.
It's definitely not. It was something that
I've had
was
port
better.
wine before, and I've enjoyed it. It's delicious.
My mom used to drink port wine, and she kept it in the fridge.
Yep.
A big jug in the fridge, and it's red wine.
But it's very sweet.
It's not supposed to be chilled, in theory.
Yeah.
But she liked it, and you know what? That's just like the journey we always tell you about. It's how you like it, what you like, when you like it. So if you love it, drink it.
So if you know what you want and you want it now.
That's right. So,
Yeah, no, again, that's not bad for like the gimmicks of it. Like, this is a Metallica thing. This is, they put music to it and let it slosh around in the barrel with the vibrations. It actually did a pretty good job. Like, it's not my favorite thing, and it's not a bourbon, but as far as whiskeys go, this is probably one of the better whiskeys I've had.
Right. And this is, I said brandy. I keep wanting to say sherry, but it says black brandy cask. I don't know that, I would have to Google it, if there's even other, at least high-end or readily available ones that are finished in brandy. Like sherry, brandy versus port and all that other stuff.
So the only thing that I know of that's like a brandy, like they do it in a port, a Chardonnay, and I think a brandy.
Black brandy cask. BBC.
Nice.
Do not Google
BBC.
That. Don't Google that.
The Thomas S. Moore stuff.
Oh, because we discuss that sometimes too.
So
like,
they do a
end.
Chardonnay, port wine, and then I think it's a brandy. I can't even tell by that. Yeah, but so they do those cask things too.
But they don't. That's one of those that never has a baseline offering. That's under like $60, $70, $80. Like,
I want to get I'm gonna say this on air.
He's gonna say it.
I want to get those Calumet, like the ones that are like the really nice.
Is it Calumet or is it Calumet?
I think it's Probably Calumet. I don't know.
I always wonder too.
If it's French, it's Calumet. If it's American, it's Calumet.
If it's... He's not wrong. I mean, what are we going to say? He's not wrong.
It's probably Calumet because it has to do with like the Kentucky racing and things.
Oh, okay. So. Okay. There's, all right. Fair enough. There's a few
but
of those.
I want to get a couple of those. They have like a 15-year offering and stuff like that. And they're very pricey, but I've heard good things.
But so he's balling. I'm going to buy...
I'm not nearly as balling as, that one guy with the bunker in Oklahoma.
Oh, God.
But anyway, so, again, Blackened, good choice. We'll go... Worth at least buying a bottle once, just so you know what it is. And if you're a whiskey guy, definitely. If you're a bourbon guy,
Now, this is Wolf Moon. If you don't know Florida Georgia Line or Jason Aldeen, you probably don't like country music. And that's okay. You don't have to like country music.
Is Florida Georgia Line related to Flo Ryda?
No. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. They have a lot of very famous songs, so... Florida Georgia Line is a very big band, so... but it also, if you go to the website...
this is a bourbon.
It says so, straight bourbon whiskey.
Okay, there
so,
you go.
If you go to the website, it's really more Jason Aldeen. It's more his picture. It's more Jason Aldeen and these guys. So
he just brought them along for the ride.
Yeah, just added more clickbait to his whiskey. Maybe. We don't really know. Now, this is an 80 proof.
Yeah, there's definitely less of a burn on the nose than that. It
smells kind of chemically. I'm almost smelling like...
Really?
Yeah, like a... Like
I'm not getting chemical. I'm getting like a
cleaner solution of some sort.
It might be the wood you're smelling.
Right.
It could be the oak.
Okay.
Because after that, and this being a fresh oak barrel, that's going to have more of a woody flavor.
Proudly distilled and bottled by Old Camp Whiskey, Lawrenceburg, Indiana.
Say probably.
Oh, proudly. I'm sorry. It's tiny words. Proudly. They proudly... Probably.
You guys, it might be distilled. I'm not sure.
In Young Camp Whiskey. And screw you guys. Anyway, by the way, it's got a cute little wolf head right here, which totally means absolutely nothing. Don't buy it because of that. So buy it because we tell you to.
Well, we're not going to tell you what to do.
There's a wolf on the cork, too.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, the cork's... You're not going to be able to see this.
Yeah,
but
it's
the
all
cork
black
is...
stuff, but...
You don't want to say engraved. Etched?
Yeah, like a wood burn almost, but a little bit deeper.
And we're going to try this one, then we're going to do the coin flip, and you're going to find out if we like Blackened more, or Wolf Moon more, or...
To be determined.
Absolutely.
Here we go. Cheers.
Here it is. It's light.
So, the alcohol taste, there's no burn for me.
No burn, no burn.
There's a cherry flavor to it.
Cherries, huh?
I'm getting cherries.
I'm going more vanilla and a little bit more...
I'm tasting the wood more here, but that's because it's a brand new barrel that's been charred.
Yeah.
And it is a bourbon.
A little more wood, a little more...
You're getting vanilla?
Vanilla.
There's some sweetness to it. I give you that. But I definitely got cherry. So vanilla cherry, throw it in with like a cherry Coke, you'll be fine.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough when we're at 80 proofs. Like those 80 proofs.
Again, I'm not tasting a lot of alcohol here.
I would be hard pressed to say if we, in a past episode, we did a couple of the bourbons and scotches, which he loves. It's his favorite. I almost feel like I would have trouble deciding which one I would like between this and like Proper 12 and Jameson and some of these other 80s that are just because I feel like they have a lot of similarities in their sort of lightness. They're almost oily a little bit.
So I think that's because we've been going higher proof.
We did go higher and are coming down. So
honestly, the episode we did before this was a lot of the wild turkeys for the Thanksgiving episode.
Yeah.
And those are all at like that 100, 112 proof.
I would buy every single one of those.
Every last one.
Before either one of these already.
Oh, for sure.
Not to say, but we like those so much. It's not to say we hate these.
Those are higher proof when we started this journey.
Right.
80, we still felt the burn and such, and we were like, we would pick the 80s over the 100s. So
probably because when you're 80, even walking has a burn to it. Ooh. Let's be honest. I mean,
I'm not looking forward to that.
I'm gonna get there before you, so I'll let you know. If I don't make it to 80, that's okay too. Whatever, man. When it's my time, it's my time.
How are your funeral preparations done? Are you doing a Viking funeral like I am?
A Viking funeral?
Yeah, I'm going to have someone launch an arrow.
And you're going to just be floating out at sea?
Yeah. I'll be aged at sea for sure.
If you go before I do, and I'm coherent enough and have the money enough, and you do that, I will buy the next bottle of Jefferson's Aged at Sea that comes out post your death.
And just put it on there with the cork open so that when the
flaming arrow
hits it, there'll be an explosion?
This is neat. He's in this bottle. And he's 10 years younger than I am, roughly. And if that's the case, I mean, I might not be able to say it, or I'll have to take my dentures out first. But, nonetheless.
I don't know. I could die tomorrow.
You could. I hope you don't.
Well, tomorrow I'll let you know.
Well, fair enough. All right. I might have shit going on tomorrow, so if you could die the next day, that'd be great. So,
all right.
We've discussed holiday movies. We've discussed holiday food. So, you're probably seeing this pre-Christmas,
We've recorded it pre-Christmas. Hell, we recorded it pre-Thanksgiving.
It's true. It's true. We do now. So, he let the cat out of the bag.
Oh, the cats are somewhere else
right now. We light the cats in the bag and we throw them in the river. But
nope.
No, it's a joke. It's a joke. We drop them off at Taco Bell like everybody else.
He is coming after us now.
Taco Bell, the Mexican telephone company.
Anyway, you would have to at least be in the 90s at some point in your life to understand that joke.
It is true. It is true. It is true. We are going to now flip a coin.
All right. You want to call this one?
No. Let's do it the opposite way. Okay. I flipped. You called. You flip. I call. It sounds kind of like we're playing poker, right? Call. Oh. Yeah, right. Okay, go ahead. Tails.
Ooh, guess what, buddy?
It's tails.
No, it's heads.
Oh, good.
Oh, good. Right. Oh, thank God.
So,
full disclosure.
There it is. You know you like full disclosure. Don't pretend you don't.
Bum, 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 bum. So, I picked this bottle for our coin flip because he said that these were both musically inclined things that he was
hate when I lose!
He was bringing musically inclined bourbon and whiskey. And so the last one for his flip was going to be Heaven's Door, which we've already tried. And my thought was that because I didn't really have anything musically inclined as far as a bourbon or whiskey, new riff, like a riff on a guitar, would be something suitable to kind of go in with the...
I'm proud of you. That was creative. I liked it because I never thought of the words or the names or the descriptions as like, oh, that could kind of fit into the bill.
The motif.
Yeah. And while we've discussed this before, Heaven's Door is Bob Dylan's. We're not drinking it tonight. And it's, you know what, I'm glad. I was happy because we knew this is the first time we've done this, but we're going to do some coin flip episodes and not tell each other. And it might be kind of fun to see what happens. But we've done that before, and it's not the greatest, but I also, as I told him, we should probably maybe someday, if we decide to, buy another bottle. Maybe not of this expression either, maybe a different one, because they have a few and so on and so forth.
But anyway,
and so try it when it's younger.
I'll put a picture of the bottle up here, probably.
Right here. Let's put the bottle right here.
Anyway. And you'll see their logo, which is actually, it looks like a sine wave or like a sound wave for like a riff, which I think is pretty neat. So we've never tried this. It's not even been opened yet.
No.
And I think this could be the first time the first bottle of theirs that isn't sourced.
It could be.
Because right here it says it was distilled in 2017 and bottled in 2021, which is a 5-year difference. So this could be the first or second iteration.
17 to 21 would be 4 years. 17 to 22 would be 5 years.
17, 18, 19,
It was
20.
Distilled in 17, you start with 18. 18 would be 1 year.
Why
19, 20, 21. If they distilled it in 17, they didn't bottle it till 17.
They didn't bottle it until 2021.
Oh, but I'm saying they distilled it in 17, and so that's when it started.
Distilling only takes like a month.
But 8 years, 18 would be 1 year. If they started distilling it in...
I'm assuming that means that it was put in the
Well,
barrel.
wait, do they distill... Wait, what?
Wait, what?
This is... Look, this is going to get confusing either way. We're guessing no matter what we're talking about.
I started working where I work now in 2017.
Right. So you've been there 4 years.
I've been there almost 5.
Well, then you started the beginning of 2017.
I did start in the beginning of 2017.
Exactly. We can add, calm down. You know what I mean? This is very well known on all bourbon channels and stuff as a blended craft. Like, they always compare it to Walking Trail, and they compare it to some of those other ones that they think are
interesting.
New. Rabbit Hole, originally, before Rabbit Hole started getting their own distillate and stuff like that. And this is bottle and bond, so we're going from 90 to 80 to 100.
Right.
So, but that's the thing. This one, along with Walking Trail, from what I see, are the two that most channels that we watch, I watch, whatever, really do think, they did it right. They did a good job. And we've discussed before, like, for instance, just for the sake of saying it, Johnny Walker's the biggest whiskey seller in the world. They sell the most whiskey, and it's all blended. There's not a distillery. They don't have one. Mm-hmm. Okay? It's all blended. They source bottles, and they blend it together, and blending has become kind of as big as the distillery as far as master distiller goes in certain ways when you get to companies of that size. And everybody says this is one of the ones you want to try. Now, maybe this Wolf Moon is or isn't. It is, I assume. I don't have any reason to believe this is their own distillate and they waited 4+ years, which I still think it's only 2. I think you could say 2. Because I just watched a thing about Balcones from Texas. And he talks about it and stuff. Whiskey Dictionary. Look at him up. He's awesome. He's awesome.
Long story short, this could be the first one of theirs.
Short story long.
Yep.
You don't know.
This could be the first one of theirs that they didn't actually source.
Right.
This could be their very first bottled and bond that they did everything, because they talk about their master distiller and everything on the bag.
Now, what did this cost you? If you don't, this is high rye. So the spiciness might be a little bit hotter than wheated bourbon or a.
It is a sour mash. Barley. It says so on the front. But this was their initial offering. This is they have other offerings, but this is their baseline.
Exceeding the world's highest quality standard for spirits set forth in 1897 Bottled and Bond Act. Yeah. Aged at least 4 years, 65% corn. So wow, that fits the bourbon thing.
It is a bourbon.
Yeah, fits it.
Bottled and bond. So.
But high rye, meaning 65% corn, 30% rye, 5% malted barley, no wheat.
This could be a lot like a Bullet almost, I think, because Bullet was a high rye too, right?
I do believe so. I do believe you're correct, my friend.
And I do like a good Bullet.
Well,
not a hollow point.
No. What about a buckshot where it just hits everybody?
That's what you want, because you want everyone to be screwed.
I was just talking to my son, telling him my oldest son is 20, and he likes a lot of stand-up comics, and Bill Burr does the thing about bullets, and he's like, I never bought a gun before, and he talks about how the guy who tried to sell it to him was sort of rednecky and whatnot, and he's like, you need a shotgun. And he's like, well, what about a pistol? He's like, people use pistols, they miss all the time, motherfucker, all the time. Boom, 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 miss. Shotgun, doesn't matter. The further back you are, the more shit you hit. And you got a problem over here, blam! You ain't got a problem over there no more. And it kind of just makes me think of that.
One thing I did notice when I uncorked it is they have a black plastic cork, which is kind of different.
It's plastic?
Yeah, it's not cork, it's plastic. It's the same as this
there's
year.
There's wood to it.
Well, there's a little.
It's got has it got a wax to it?
Maybe like this one. This one has that's an actual cork, whereas this is also the.
Yeah, but is this just a cork? Oh, that's plastic.
Yeah.
So do we know that is though?
That's pretty plasticky.
But could it just be the?
It's not cork because it's black.
But could they have just
waxed the cork? Why would you do that?
I don't know why half the people do half the things they do in the world, so I have no idea. Okay, it's a new riff. Maybe they were riffing differently.
It's an artificial cork. It's not a real cork.
It does sound plasticky.
That's hollow.
But you see when it hits the wood, it's lower sounding. But then the plastic noise.
Yeah.
That's kind of lower sounding too.
Well, we're putting that back in.
Yeah.
Did you pour yourself some new riff?
I did not. Did you?
I did.
All right. Fair enough.
Pour that riff.
All right then. I would. You're the musical one. You should have done a
saxophone solo?
riff. Yeah, just a riff, not a whole.
Call me Bill Clinton because I'm.
There you go, dude. I would vote for you. Hey, absolutely.
I always thought that was one of the most ridiculous little tidbits about presidents is that Bill Clinton played saxophone, and then on Animaniacs, the animated show,
right
in the beginning, they during their little opening sequence, they had Bill Clinton playing a saxophone. Pretty fun.
Check wow.
Fun facts from the 90s. Where the hell did this come from?
What? This one.
Yeah. All right.
What I was thinking was, could they have put something on here to protect the cork, so therefore people don't... Like, I've heard people on shows, be it whichever ones we watch, talk about people who are wine collectors store their wines on the side. Wine racks are meant for on the side because the amount of alcohol in it doesn't disintegrate the cork too quickly.
Right.
Whereas bourbons, you want to store standing up because there's so much more alcohol in it that they will destroy the cork a lot quicker because there's so much alcohol, so don't store them on their sides. And that's what I was thinking about that when I first saw it. It was like, maybe they put something on there they know won't change the flavor or taste or anything else, but will make it so that if somebody does, because let's face it, this is pretty close to or is a wine bottle, right? Maybe that's... See, I'm not just completely an idiot. It's only most of the time.
See, also, fun fact, I think both of these, aside from the fact that their corks are similar, they have that, like, black and tan going on. Like, it almost looks like a coffee. I
saw the Whiskey Dictionary guys say that they made this bottle, that they designed that bottle the same way that Glenmorangie has one called, and it's more expensive than that, and it's like one of their high-end scotches. I can't remember the name of it, but they have one that looks just like that. Signet? S-I-G-N-E-T. How do you pronounce that? Signet, okay. I didn't know if the G was silent. It was Signet or Signia. I don't know. I don't speak most languages, including English. You're welcome.
That's nice.
Anyway, 101. Sorry. We're just goofing.
And it's been aged at least 4 years.
At least 4 years, which is a plus, obviously.
Here we go.
There's more flavor.
The nose is more of a burn for me.
The nose is more flavorful. This smelled like chemicals to me.
But how'd it taste? Chemically?
It tasted like one of the 80 proof scotches or something. It didn't taste like...
So you got a little peat in there? A little peat moss taste?
Not... Okay. Some scotches have peat, some don't. It depends on if it's peated or not peated.
I hate peat moss.
I'm aware of that. I think everybody who's watched one episode ever knows that you hate peat moss. Then there's high peat. As a matter of fact, one of the companies, I want to say it's Bruichladdich, but it might be not. They call it Octomore. And they developed it a few years ago, and it's the highest peated whiskey in the world. But guess what? It sells great because it is for those who like it. You know what I mean? Everybody who likes peat wanted to get to the best or the highest because, and some people, and it apparently sells like.
I have a business idea for you.
For me?
Yeah.
Well, does it have stripping involved? Because I'm ready. Let's do this.
No, not yet.
No, all right then. You heard it. Made me stop.
What if we start a Scotch company and we call it Pete and Pete? Oh, here's to you, Nickelodeon, for that joke.
The moments that make you go. Oh my God, Pete and Pete, You're more...
I will get a tattoo, call it Petunia, and have it dance on my forearm.
You don't have any tattoos, right?
No, but I would do that if we started a company called Pete and Pete.
If we get to 1,000 subscribers, I will get a tattoo of our logo on my arm. And you can watch. I will go to my friend Brian, who I've talked about in episodes, and he will do it on my arm. If we get to 1,000 subscribers. So subscribe. And you know what else? Oh, wait, I got this for you. I got this. I'm not gonna trim the beard. I'm not gonna cut the beard till we hit 1,000. You hit 1,000, I'll do it live.
Sweet Jesus.
We'll cut it off.
This could be years.
I know, right? It could be really long, and I might need a robe just so I can start a religion.
ZZ Top.
I'm saying.
Or a wizard.
Well,
you're a wizard, Harry.
Well, that's fine. I'm good with that. I could be Dumbledore all day. I'm fine with that. Wait, he needs to say smart things? Well, you'll have to hang out.
He has to say aloof things.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You're a wizard, Harry. What's that? The one Glendale or Glendara or something. I showed you the bottle before where it's like a guy standing in a robe. It's some Irish whiskey or Scottish whiskey with a big long... He's being mean to me. Not really. Just fucking with you. Oh, there you go. I swore again.
It's fine.
I've really kind of come down on the swearing part.
I've actually kind of stopped editing it because I want people to know.
You want people to know the real me?
I want people to know that, these guys really are blue collar.
You might want to check out OnlyFans for my page. I'll be the guy in the robe with the long beard. Did you taste this?
I did.
All right. And this is your first taste,
This is my first taste of New Riff. This is my newest New Riff taste.
And there's a lot of New Riff expressions, I feel like. So I know there's a rye, but I feel like there's 3 or 4 or 5 bottles there.
So
when we go.
I'm not going to lie. I think that we absolutely should compare this to a Bullet.
Oh, the rye is immediate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that rye spice is immediate.
The sour mash does hit you. But I don't mind it, which is super weird because I always thought I hated rye.
But again, you love Bullet.
I do.
And I'm more into it as the upper expressions. The Bullet barrel strength, easily one of my favorites. And you know what else I saw? I was just watching a show last night about, maybe it was an episode about that one specifically, but barrel strength apparently isn't easy to come by, which I didn't realize.
Really?
Yeah. He was I think Whiskey Dictionary was like, this is not easy to find. So he always talks about how he just calls the company and they just send him a bottle. Like, when do we have to get to that point?
I think we just start.
I'm bald. I'm on a show. Like, send me bottles.
Can we do that?
I don't know. He does it all the time. He's mentioned it repeatedly on those shows. He's like, well, I wanted to try one, so they overnighted one to me.
How many? We're going to talk about this off air.
No, we're not. You guys get to be part of this.
Anyway, so second sip. Here I go.
Oh, right. Me too. Let's do that. Okay, now this is a 100, and we just had all those wild turkeys an hour or so ago now, give or take.
Mm-hmm.
Would you remotely, and this is a good question for him too, this is a very good thing because he likes the Bullet. The Bullet's a high rise, so at least we think it is. I haven't actually looked it up again since you mentioned it, so I hope you're right. You usually are. You're incredibly smart.
No.
It's very true. He is. He's smart. Don't let him lie to you. I mean, and for all you ladies out there, it's ridiculous. It's just, I can't even, like, sometimes he bumps into it, and look how close we are right now. It's stupid.
We can stop talking about my moose knuckle anytime.
Oh, okay. Moose knuckle.
Yeah, girls have camel toe, guys have moose knuckle.
I've never heard that before in my life. That's the name of our second batch of whiskey we put in
Moose
here.
Knuckle?
Moose Knuckle. The first one is the Devil's Elixir or something like that, and we have a label coming for it. We have a label being made by Imperfectly Perfect Creations for all your needs locally. Call, text, get on Facebook, and contact her. She's a wonderful lady. And we will have some merch coming out soon. We did a whole pre-show meeting about this stuff earlier today, and we're gonna get it rolling. It might be after the holidays,
after the Christmas season.
Because you got to spend a lot of money on people. It is what it is. I hope people spend a lot of money on me. So they won't.
Too much.
Because I don't know why I'm lovable. You know what I'm saying? So we should talk. But
so comparing this to those two.
To these two. Yes. Okay, go ahead, please.
They're three very distinct flavors. They're three different things. It is very difficult to compare these because that's a scotch.
No, it's
not a scotch. It's a whiskey. Excuse me.
I like when he makes mistakes too, because then it's not just me.
I can edit him out.
I know. I just laughed about that. And he made a mistake. I'm going to keep saying it for like an hour, so he can't edit everything out. He made a mistake. Nah, he's human.
So,
let's face it. We all make mistakes.
The whiskey, for whiskey's sake, is good. That bourbon, even though it's like a catchy, kitschy, like niche. This is something that people who sing songs also made. Like Tool makes wine. These guys made bourbon.
Right. Tool.
Dan Aykroyd makes tequila or something.
Tool. Ryan Reynolds makes tequila or gin. Ryan Reynolds, and he already sold it. Yeah. As a matter of fact, George Clooney made a tequila, and within a couple years, because his name was on it, he sold it for a ginormous profit. Ryan Reynolds did the same thing. He does not own that anymore.
Nice.
He's just the spokesman.
Like Mint Mobile.
Did you watch Red Notice yet?
Not yet.
Oh my God. Yeah.
I'll have to tonight maybe.
Classic Ryan Reynolds.
But there is
never ages, by the way.
There's an indigenous tribe to like somewhere in the middle of, I want to say like the Amazon, that worships George Clooney as a god because like they found like this skydiver's backpack and he had like a picture of George Clooney, and in their little like hut that they use as their church is the signed picture of George Clooney.
No.
Swear to God, this is a real thing. These are people who've never seen Batman and Robin. Okay. We need to mail every DVD that nobody else will buy anymore over there, and some DVD players and some electricity. And they need to watch that because any Batman who has nipples, like on his costume, nipple man. Oh my God. So
they worship George Clooney.
They do.
Don't get me wrong, George Clooney's. I mean, I'd like to have his everything, but
I don't know. He's not a real good actor. He just does this thing where he's very callous and he just looks down and then he looks up at you. And
he was perfectly cast for Oceans, for the Oceans movies.
Sure, yeah.
He was perfectly cast for that. So he's I don't know. He is what
good for him.
we are both Ryan Reynolds guys.
Oh yeah.
Like his sense of sarcasm and humor is so much like ours. He's just not as good looking as us, so we don't hang out with him.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Clearly. He looks like some guy who likes gin. Whatever.
I mean, I saw Deadpool. Have you seen that face? It's all scarred and pockmarked.
I know, right? Hideous. What the hell happened to him? Jesus.
Like a vat of acid.
He looked like he had sex with an avocado after he had sex with another avocado, or whatever he says in Deadpool to him when he's like, you know...
Look, my face got an avocado. Anyway.
Okay. Let's say this. Let's figure out this episode.
Okay.
Now, this is a problem for me. Mm-hmm. I remember this one was a little over $40, the Blackened. Yeah. 41-ish. This one I'm having trouble remembering, but I think it was high 20s, early 30s.
Okay.
It was not 40.
This one was around that $35 price point.
For the bottle and bonds,
yeah.
too. Wow.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's new riff.
So we're actually pretty close, because it's like 40-something, 30-something, and I think 30-ish.
This could have been 40.
Yeah.
But
now, for this episode, if you were going to buy another bottle... This is a little tricky too, and I'll tell you why. Because you bought this one, and I bought this one. That's true. So if you were going to buy another or a first bottle, yeah, and I bought this one, but I'm going to go ahead and guess he's not debating this. I could be wrong.
I think I would almost prefer that over this.
Over the Blackened?
I would like the Wolf Moon over the Blackened.
Wow.
It was a bourbon. It was an 80 proof bourbon. There wasn't a lot of burn to it. There was a little bit
almost a beginner bourbon.
Yeah, like if you're starting out in bourbon, the Wolf's Moon, great. It's not going to burn you too bad. The price isn't going to burn you at all.
Right.
And the flavor profile of it, if this is your first time starting to drink straight stuff,
right,
it's not going to turn you off to it.
Right.
So for entry level bourbons, Wolf Moon, definitely one you can go for. This one being bottled and bonded in 100 proof, it's going to give you a little more of that burn.
It was a
subtle
chill burn.
Yeah,
it
wasn't rough.
Yeah, it didn't have that like almost where you want to wince or something. It was almost like, okay, I got it. And it's
yeah.
I almost feel like all of them. I feel like the Blackened might have held on the longest as far as like.
It's also not aged nearly as long as the other two. I don't think.
Yeah.
So
it's tough to see the color of the newer because of the bottles.
Well,
as far as like just.
Does that help?
Yeah, well, I don't know. As long as that bottle's clear on the bottom, or is it just... Yeah.
In comparison. So, if I was going to pick one...
Right.
I think I'm going to go with the new riff because it's got a complexity the other two don't. But, all three of them are okay. Like, this is not my favorite bourbon.
Right.
Like, we just did the Wild Turkey episode, and I would gladly take any one of those three over this.
Yeah.
However...
So therefore, you just answered a question I already asked. Like, would this be in the conversation of the turkeys because of the proof point? Because all the turkeys were 100 plus.
Yeah.
Would this one even be in comparison to any of them? And you're saying no.
I'm saying I would rather take any one of those three bottles over this bottle.
This and I agree.
Bad bottle.
I agree.
But those were better. Like, I would buy this again.
Part of me sort of hates to say it in a way, but doesn't. Fine. I'm gonna. Well, I don't know. Did you like that noise? Because if you did, there's more of that. You just let me know.
See?
I'm just going to... There you go. That's the spirit right
Police
there.
Academy,
here I come. You and your fucking moose knuckle. Jesus, that's your new name. Hi, I'm Rox. This is Moose Knuckle. And this is... My barrel.
Oh, jeez.
Did you get a good look at my nose hair? All right, good checking.
You're pretty. Matches the drapes.
You said, oh, geez, and I said, oh, my God. We're the OGs of the books. No, so of the three to pick a winner, you're saying new riff.
I'm going to go new riff on this.
I'm going to say Blackened.
Okay.
I'm not...
That's not the Blackened bottle, but that's fine.
No, I was putting them together. I thought we were just putting the three.
I was just getting them out of the way so they could see my beautiful...
Oh, they wanted to see the moose knuckle? I mean, you might need a wider angle lens.
I feel like my face is not a moose knuckle, sir.
Oh, I thought you were going to... I thought it was the holidays and you were going to unwrap something that...
Nope.
Nobody's...
So you're going with Blackened, and that's fine. It's also the only one that isn't a bourbon.
It's true. I don't know. There was something about that, and that we literally went 80, 90, 100. Yeah. Like we went up 10 points each. This is fine.
Yeah, it's not bad for 90 proof.
I'm your price point guy. I constantly, my head has to do it. I can't like filter that out. And it literally kind of goes up, because I'm thinking 30, 40, 50 almost, give or take, like within range, and it's kind of goes up 10 points, goes up $10. Who knew? I don't know. I like them sort of all.
They're all good for what they are.
None of them are Town Branch.
They're all better than Town Branch.
None of them are Aged at Sea.
Every single one of them. All of them are better than Aged at Sea.
But none of them are Wild Turkey.
True.
Right. They are more tame chicken. So
yes,
yes.
Again, all of these, they're somewhere in the middle of the pack. So it's not my favorite. None of these are gonna be my favorite.
Should we try Heaven's Door?
No.
Yes, we should.
I don't want to.
Come on, it's one sip and you're not going anywhere. Calm down. What's the worst case scenario?
I could have had more of something else.
No, because you could still have more of something else.
You could only drink so much alcohol before you get drunk.
Well, what did you say? You can't drink all day if you don't start in the morning.
You can't drink all day if you don't start early.
That's right.
That's right.
You can't. Oh my God. Let's get. This didn't win the coin flip, and we've decided. I picked Blackened. He picked New Rift. We did not pick Wolf Moon. But you know what? For an episode when we've had a couple of them where we disagreed, but there was one loser. That might have been the best loser. We could actually. I could go back through, and we could have a triple of 3 losers.
Loser battle.
And we could also have...
No, because the losers are Town Branch.
Well, it doesn't have to be that one. We might have enough that we've disagreed on. That
this is our 10th episode, so we should have 10 losers.
No, because some of them we agreed on, so there's going to be more than that. You know what I mean? There's not going to be just 10. There's either going to be 11 or 12 or 13.
So there's enough losers to pick.
And then there was those things that weren't whiskeys that we didn't... I'm not even sure if we named a winner. When it was like
the
Bernheim
WBS.
and... WBS, Bernheim, Sour Mash Dickel.
See, but why would you want to have a loser's winner? Like, that seems like the shit bracket of, like, how you're going to get your next fantasy football team. Like, no,
well,
I don't want to be that guy.
I think the move there would be, because we're a blue-collar show, that if we did a loser's bracket and we tried them again, maybe we uncorked them and maybe some of them weren't the ones we choose to do for that thing. Maybe we realize one of them deserves another shot, and therefore we explain to the people that maybe the first time you tried it, maybe it was open for too long.
The winner's bracket of the losers.
Right. It's the... there's double eliminations.
So not...
tournaments,
so right? Not a Town Branch or a Jefferson's, but, like, things like...
nothing that's going to make us, like, want to,
absolutely not. Never
trigger our gag reflex.
Yeah.
Reflex? Not trigger our gag reflex. I mean, like that fucking Python thing you've got. No wonder you're single. Jesus Christ. Because, gag reflex is, like, in his profile on all of his, like, Tinders and stuff. He's like, if you don't have a great gag reflex, let's just not be friends. Because, that's why him and I are friends. I gag when I taste Town Branch. So...
That's fair.
I think Jefferson's HSC is worse than Town Branch.
Oh.
I would drink Town Branch.
I would drink Jefferson's HSC over Town Branch, but I don't want to drink either of them.
The reason I would agree with you on that is what I was about to say was, like, because just Jefferson's HSC, if they're actually doing that, the next batch might be completely different. Because what if it was like still water for like hours and hours and hours?
And then they
shoved
it in like the Bermuda Triangle, just rocking back and forth.
Jesus, who's on the Titanic? Oh,
take the wheel.
Right. My heart will not go on. So for giggles, we're gonna try this one too, just for fun. It's not gonna win, but What
did Cinderella do when she got to the ball?
I don't know, Neat. What did she do? What did we? Oh my God. Okay. Yep. What did we just say was gonna be the name of the second batch? Moose Knuckle, right?
Moose Knuckle.
All right, just making sure.
It's recorded. You can find it on the internet.
Well, I'm not sure that you haven't edited it yet.
Welcome to the internet.
You haven't edited it yet, so I don't know if you'll edit out Moose Knuckle. You shouldn't. Moose Knuckle.
I'm not going to edit as much as I used to because I feel like people want to know.
I'm not sure.
This is better than it was the last time.
Well, look what we just drank.
It's still not my favorite, but it's better. Maybe it's because I've been drinking. This is the 10th bourbon we've tried.
This would be 92, and this would be more in this line as far as the... Boy, it's easier drinking than that one was. Mm-hmm. Again, this is going to be tough. I opened this a year and a half ago total. It's slowly gone down. It hasn't gone below half until a few months, but still... There's a very sincere difference when things have had a lot of time with oxygen versus no time, or if it's been open to here versus here for a long time. There's a lot.
Fun fact: the only reason you age is because you're exposed to oxygen.
Well, who needs that shit? Let's get rid of that. So, boom, and I'm dead. Anyway.
So, yeah.
Honestly, in this condition would have finished above this.
Yeah.
But when I, being the person I am on this, include the price point, this is like $50 for the baseline. Mm-hmm. This was, I still think it's around 30, maybe 28, 29. But anyway. So anyway, we did not have a specific winner, but we did have a couple losers, or a loser.
True. So this was rocks. This was neat.
Yep.
And yeah, check them out. Try them. Let us know your thoughts. And if you have something you want us to try, by all means, drop a comment or send an email.
Please.
And don't be so desperate, man. That's a turnoff.
Please. Come on.
So
put it in your mouth.
I'm neat.
He is. I'm Rox.
And this has been The Bourbon Barrel.